Welcome to Edwards Beyond the Test, a podcast that goes behind the scenes of the flight test mission at Edwards Air Force Base. I'm Dawn Waldman from the 412th Test Wing Public Affairs. Located off the north shore of the Rogers Dry Lakebed is a facility that houses a unique test operation at Edwards. The team that works there is charged with exploring new and innovative ways of looking at tests. I'm talking about the Emerging Technologies Combined Test Force, and today we'll learn about the exciting operations of the ET-CTF. It's my pleasure to introduce today's guest, who is the Director of the Emerging Technologies Combined Test Force, Lieutenant Colonel Travis Bryce. Sir, thanks so much for taking the call today.
Absolutely.
Well, Colonel Bryce, you're no stranger to Edwards, having previously served here, but you are relatively new to the ET-CTF. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So I've been at Edwards for a long time in military standards. I've been here for a total of about 7.5 years now. But I just took over at the ET-CTF May of this year.
Okay, well, Colonel Bryce, you recently told me that it is important for us to remember that the idea behind this unit was to meet the mission needs not already being met. If you don't mind, can you please give us a brief overview of what is the Emerging Technologies Combined Task Force?
Yeah, sure. So the Emerging Technologies Combined Task Force was established back in July of 2016. Really as an experimental organization to identify test capability gaps for emerging technologies. So those things such as small unmanned aerial systems, autonomy, machine learning, data science, things like that. And really to address the Air Force Test Center roadmap, which calls out a specific goal of standing up an autonomy test and evaluation capability. For the first roughly 3 years of our history, we were primarily focused on testing really a variety of counter small unmanned aerial system programs, most of which were urgent need programs directly impacting our warfighters. Since we've completed most of those programs, we've transitioned to developing the center's autonomy test capabilities. The importance of those have been reinforced through the 2018 National Defense Strategy, which called out multiple emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, and machine learning. Also, the 2019 National Defense Authorization Act, Congress added language for the test community to build up its test ranges and personnel specifically to address those needs. The ET-CTF is here to meet that need.
Well, the ET-CTF started off with just a small crew, but it's since grown to about 35 employees. Colonel Bryce, can you tell us about the team that works there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the ET-CTF looks a lot like the other CTFs on Edwards, just a lot smaller. So all of our personnel come matrixed from the standard 412 test wing groups, such as the ops group, the engineering groups, test engineering group and electronic warfare group, the test management group, and the maintenance group. Most of the people here are engineers from the engineering groups. We have just about every discipline on base. But really, we also have kind of a unique operations expertise, able to maintain and operate kind of our fleet of small unmanned aerial systems in support of a variety of test programs.
Well, you know, Colonel Bryce, I recall when the unit was first established, we saw a lot of operations that focused around small unmanned aerial systems, or small UAS. These quadcopters and drones, they were used for aircraft and building inspections, but the program has evolved quite a bit since then. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of our primary test assets is our small unmanned aerial system fleet. We have about 190 of them, ranging everywhere in size from just a couple pounds to about 70 pounds. Very soon we'll have some that weigh as much as about 1,300 pounds. We definitely use these for kind of those things you mentioned, you know, aircraft and building inspections, or really any other base need, things such as aerial photography for large events. However, the primary use of them is really test and test support, such as the counter small UAS testing we've done in the past, and such as our future, which is using them as a platform for testing autonomous systems.
Well, Colonel Bryce, do you only test various types of aircraft there?
So we don't necessarily focus on testing specific aircraft, although we are the executing test organization for the new 5th-gen aerial target aircraft, but rather our primary focus is the new technologies themselves, such as autonomy and artificial intelligence.
So, Colonel Bryce, how do you decide what you're going to test? Is it all driven by the Department of Defense or the U.S. Air Force, or do you have commercial customers as well?
So the process by which we get our test programs is really the same process managed by the test management group that every CTF uses here at Edwards. However, where we're focused on those new technologies described in the 2018 National Defense Strategy, where we're really well suited to meet customers' needs, such as autonomy. If there's a customer out there who's looking for an autonomous test capability and integration onto Edwards ranges, we're likely the right place to do that program. Additionally, if there's a program that really just needs use of our small UAS fleet, we can likely help them as well.
A lot of exciting programs have been coming to the Emerging Technologies CTF. We'll talk about that and more in just a moment. Welcome back to Edwards Beyond the Test. Our guest is Lieutenant Colonel Travis Bryce, who is the director of the Emerging Technologies Combined Task Force. Well, Colonel Bryce, the dry lake bed in front of your building at North Base provides a great working environment for launching the various aircraft that are used for test. For instance, this past spring, there was small unmanned jet aircraft out there being used for testing the Air Force Research Laboratory's Skyborg program, and that focuses in the area of autonomous flight. The ET-CTF has been working on this program a while, so can you tell us about the Skyborg program?
Yeah, absolutely. So Skyborg is a really exciting program. So what it is, it's an Air Force Vanguard program that's being run by AFRL. It's an autonomy-focused capability that's going to enable the Air Force to operate and sustain low-cost teamed aircraft that can thwart adversaries with quick, decisive actions in contested environments. The program is going to enable airborne combat mass by building a transferable autonomy foundation for a family of layered unmanned vehicles.
So, by the way, what does it mean to fly autonomously?
Yeah, so autonomy describes a system that is able to perceive its environment, make decisions based on that environment, and then conduct actions based on those decisions. So for the Skyborg program, this means they're developing complex algorithms and cutting-edge sensors that'll both enable that system to make decisions based on established rules of engagement set by the manned teammates. Our job is to not only test those algorithms and sensors, but really to develop the safety systems and flight test techniques needed to do so. This testing is going to ensure the algorithm's accuracy and verify the system continuously operates within the constraints established during mission planning.
Well, sir, another test project the ET-CTF is involved with is the Fifth Generation Aerial Target, or 5GAT program. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so 5GAT is a program that hopes to demonstrate a low-cost, full-scale, fifth-generation fighter threat representative aerial target. So it's a brand new aircraft that's being built right here in Tehachapi, and the ET-CTF is the lead in testing it out. So our test program is going to cover everything you would normally see in the first flight of a new aircraft, everything from ground engine runs, taxi testing, all the way up through first flight and envelope expansion.
Wow. Well, Colonel Bryce, recently you mentioned other projects in the ET-CTF, such as a vertical takeoff for use with air taxis. Can you tell us about this program as well as others?
Yeah, so you're referring to the Agility Prime program. So Agility Prime is an Air Force effort to really accelerate the commercial market for advanced air mobility vehicles. Think flying cars in that sense. So it's really a partnership between the Air Force and industry to further that type of technology for both commercial and military use. So the program was just launched earlier this year, but we're expecting the ET-CTF to play a role in helping test and developing some of those vehicles and technology.
Well, sir, the very first test of the ET-CTF was conducted in February of 2017, I believe, and it was to see if it was possible to use a small UAS to calibrate the 412th Range Squadron's telemetry antennas. Well, from that test to all that you've described today, there's been a lot of awesome, innovative work performed by this unit. But, sir, that work isn't done. What's on the horizon?
Yeah, so there's actually quite a bit on the horizon. I'm expecting the need for small UAS test and test support and autonomy tests to really grow significantly. The ET-CTF offers the Air Force a very unique capability that many programs are just now starting to hear of. We started small, grew rapidly, and expect will continue to grow as the test center institutionalizes this capability.
Well, sir, I really appreciate your time today, but before I let you go, can you please tell us what it means to you to work here at Edwards at the center of the aerospace testing universe?
It really means a great deal. I absolutely look forward to coming to work each and every day to help advance aerospace programs and technology that are so critical to keeping our country's dominance in both air and space. We're really fortunate here at Edwards to be involved in so many different development programs, and I'm very fortunate to be building our emerging technologies test capabilities.
Many thanks to today's guest, Lieutenant Colonel Travis Bryce, for taking time out to share his story and taking us beyond the test. Thanks to all for joining us. I'm Dawn Waldman for Edwards Beyond the Test.